A pleasure to meet all at last. And today, for the Vlog-A-Thon 6.0, what we're going to do is talk about a couple of things, mainly about 2026, that I have pretty much to follow up with. After all, if there were a few things that I felt like could have been appropriate in their own segments of the Vlog-A-Thon, they would include things like the kind of financial challenges I've had to go through, as well as various content that I've had throughout this whole year so far. And it does seem that not too many people out there happen to know the full extent of what's really going on here. So I guess we'll start off with the finances, just to at least get it over with. All right, so what I can say is that financial challenge is something that most people are expected to go through. Changes in their credit score, changes in banking or taking out loans, handling their assets, and of course having certain accounting skills necessary, as well as investments made for the future, especially if you're looking forward to going out through retirement with a massive paycheck in the form of an IRA or individual retirement account. Well, what I can say is that one thing I hadn't mentioned yet was the fact that I've hired my own personal accountant. I pay him every month. But what he does for me, in addition to settling my finances, is that he'll also get a hold of certain assets for me and certain supplies if need be, since I, of course, will be driving to and from work most of the time of the day. And, of course, a lot of my jobs tend to take place outside of the house. So this is, of course, why I do pay him on occasion to handle these certain things in order to keep myself and this house up and running quite nicely. I do, of course, allow him to live in my place on occasion if things aren't going to work out. But that is a whole different bridge that we have yet to cross. Otherwise, what I will say is that my accountant, unfortunately, as of 2 months ago, is pissed. Yeah, so if any of you guys happen to go on and wonder how I'm doing based on a financial note, the fact that I'm going on and reviewing games every month for first impressions, the fact that I'm putting out advertising on my channel, mainly through Google Ads, and the fact that I'm also doing a number of other things, that's going to cost a good amount of money each month. And sure enough, what happened was that after some time we had gone forward without going through all the finances, oh man, was he pissed. He happened to see over $10,000 worth of debt. And that's not even an exaggeration. It's basically just what that whole thing is. Across these different credit accounts that I've had, and across all sorts of financial venues that I've been known to work with over the years, whether it's through private or public banking, it's all a massive load that I have to go and pay off every month. So some might think of it because of the sheer amount of Google Ads that I've been running over the last few years or so, which admittingly has been partially responsible for the massive growth on the channel and even leading to the 100 and 200,000 subscriber milestones being reached. But even that tends to be fluctuating every now and then. I've noticed it has settled at around 125,000, but it does tend to either drop or heighten depending on the activity that goes on, whether it be from the channel or from the ads that I use to run it with. Either way you look at it though, this is only just the icing of the cake. A cake that wasn't very well baked, but that analogy might not go hand in hand with what I'm talking about here. So let's just put it this way. I've mentioned in videos earlier this year that I would have to make cutbacks, mainly in the form of the first impressions being run at only once a month, because that alone has been putting on a good amount of money I need to pay off, usually about $100 a month. It depends on what game I got, and more importantly, what edition of the game it is, because many new games at this time can range anywhere from $30 to $100 every single month. So to put it into perspective, this alongside the ads and various other things that I need, necessities, payments on this house every month, which is mostly for resources and utilities. Not to mention the money that I have to put out occasionally for either my car or for various food and clothing, occasional shopping for entertainment or otherwise. The entertainment part is something I can easily cut out, usually for a few months at a time, until I feel cooped up. Because to be fair, there's a bit of a world to explore. But some people have been wondering how have I been handling this whole thing, and well, slowly but surely I've been chunking it down to a point in which that it thankfully is getting to a point where it is actually comfortable, where I can avoid major interest in credit, and also where I can avoid certain penalties being put on for failing to pay up. So, for other things that I have, including loans, a couple of which are situated towards the house itself, and otherwise, those are also being paid off as we speak. So, it's also a good question that some people have had that I'm more than thankful to answer, but I feel like this would be better off if we did this with Why's That? This was a Q&A series that I had ran from 2018 to 2023, and now that some people have actually been coming back and answering a few questions in addition to asking some, perhaps I might just have to create a new season. But for now, I'm already pretty busy with a few other things, so that's gonna have to be on the list, but it's gonna be queued pretty far below. What's currently towards the top of the list is finishing up the likes of Hot Wheels Hilarity Under the Spotlight, which is in its second season as of now, and there's also this, the Vlog-A-Thon 6.0. These were both seasons of things that I haven't done in years, so it's great that I get to come back to those every now and then. At the end of the day, though, what I'm here for is just to talk about the fact that there is all sorts of details just waiting to be spoken about. So, here on the Vlog-A-Thon, this is why I'm more than inclined to have all that I need to talk to the base, where all my subscribers and viewers in general are looking out to see how I've been holding up, and more importantly, how life has been treating me. So, while life is great, it can sometimes be overshadowed by a number of small underlying problems. Tiny details that in which can end up growing like mold. And when it gets to a certain point, it's gonna smell, taste, and feel bad overall. So we definitely don't want it to get to that level. So, if you want to see more, go down to my channel with all the things that I have to do financially and all the things that I have to settle with outside of the usual. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me wherever you can find me, and stay on the Hollywood side.